July 5th, 2024. Today in Hartville. Okay. I heard people talking. They said some guy that was paying for the harassment said not to say anything anymore. He found out she had nothing to do with that kid's death. And that family's just making up stuff to harm people. And people were complaining we found out they even raped her. You know, today I went through, my car was bugged, see cars driving by. Went through, from where I got sick, everything that happened, to the medical malpractice afterwards, false diagnosis, them ripping off my insurance and almost killing me. And the doctor telling on him that 9 months is slowly getting well. It hits levels and not funny. Levels. And like I said, nobody will ever address what those doctors did to her before. Well, what there's there to address? You arrested him for medical malpractice insurance fraud? Negligence is 1 to 8 years. $1.5 million fine. And it took another doctor to tell on him. And like people said, we've listened to her today, and there's no doubt it was medical malpractice. It's already documented by Altman Family Physicians, Dr. Eli, in 2002 and proven in 2003. Now, do you claim fraud over your life? No. Somebody just ripping you off? No. Why? Because that'd make you stupid. If I would actually claim anything those doctors did, my doctor would look at me and say, Cameron, I already told you it was fraud. What's wrong with you? Exactly. I'll do what was wrong with me and how I got well again. And then you realize how not funny it is. Told you one day I doubled over screaming. Dave rushed me to the emergency room. They did an emergency appendectomy. Got a 4-inch scar on my stomach. Okay? Didn't look bad, but we took it out because the way she was screaming, we couldn't risk it going bad. A couple of months later, I'm screaming again. I went in the emergency room. Have you ever been checked for cyst? I had endometriosis, fluid-filled cyst growing inside me and bursting. That will double you over. Okay? They went through my belly button and around my belly button to have thick scars. I was bleeding into my stomach. They were bursting so bad. One time they were bursting so bad that I was bleeding into my stomach. And they said if I wouldn't have been in the hospital for them to do emergency surgery, I would have died. They tried brain treatments and medication caused kidney stones. I had to be knocked out and stents put in and out of my kidneys. Okay? It got so bad that my uterus flipped over. And I had to have a lower hysterectomy. A couple months later, I'm screaming again. My ovaries are full of endometriosis. One has little ones popping, and the other one has as big as a golf ball. Okay? Right. And, they said that golf ball one burst your dad. Cut me side to side, took my ovaries out. Within about a month or two from all of that, my gallbladder quit working. Had my gallbladder removed. And then a couple months later, I had scar tissue form in a ball and they had to take it out. My muscles are also already starting to twinge from being cut on. My ex would make comments to the doctor, it would be more humane if you just put a zipper on them. Okay, I finally get well. One day I start bleeding, heavy. I have nothing to bleed from. I go into the emergency room. One, the kidney stones had kinked my kidney tube. They had to go 4 inches on my back, cut it open, remove the damaged part of the kidney tube, and sew it together. That's when my muscles locked tight. All the trauma front and back. 2.5 years of surgeries. Okay? I went to pain management. The ones I went to were witch doctors. Absolutely witch doctors. My family used to make comments, just because you got your MD license don't mean you got A's. These people must have passed with a D. They started me on medication. My feet started swelling. I said, is it the medication? No. You have underlying conditions brought out from the surgeries. No, I didn't. Went into my feet, into my legs, my knees. I went from 105 pounds to 250, 275 in a year and a half. I gained that much weight. My legs are double in size and my knees are popping out of place from all the fluid buildup. I went into orthopedic doctors. They're pulling turkey-based syringes full of fluid out from under my knees and putting steroids in. My adrenal gland shut down my thyroid. I had my heart valves enlarged, and I had many heart attacks, ending up in cardiac wards. My heart is still damaged, so heart valves are enlarged. Okay? And it still flutters at times. My brain started swelling, and they told me I had level 2 pituitary tumors. I needed my pituitary gland removed. I went into my regular doctor, all my family physicians. I said, what do you think of all this? She's like, whoa. And that's how she did it. Whoa. You need to have a long talk what those doctors are doing. There's nothing wrong with you, but your muscles locked up. They said I have level 2 brain tumors. You have brain swelling caused by the medication. They say I have epilepsy. I've been having seizures. You don't have epilepsy. The seizures are caused by the medication. You don't have anything wrong with you. The only thing's wrong with you is your muscles locked up and you have the golden ticket insurance company. I said, what's that? She said, it pays for almost everything. What they're doing is they're draining it like a checking account, keeping you sick so they get the office visits, sharing you with their associates and friends that are known for lying to, falsely diagnosing people, writing out big prescriptions, getting kickbacks from the drug companies from $200 to $1,000 kickbacks. And now they're wanting to do unnecessary procedures. You're not the first one and not the only one they've done this to. Turn them over to the state so they pull their license and get an attorney and sue them. Get off that medication and be fine. It's immoral and unethical what they did to you. Went to Dr. Eli. He agreed. It's medicine making you sick. Get you off of it, you'll be fine. I gotta get you out of enough pain that you can move those muscles. They're locked tight. As you move them, blood flow will get into them. Then they'll relax. And then you can build new muscle tissue. Everything's being caused by the medication. You just got to get those muscles toned off. I have to get you out of enough pain. So he put me on fentanyl patches. Fentanyl is 100 times stronger than morphine. Muscle relaxers. First month, I lost 30 pounds. That's November of 2002. By the second month of pulling myself around stores and malls, ended up still in so much pain, ended up in the hospital. He told her, just make her comfortable, she's got to move. Okay. By the end of the second month, beginning of the third month, brain swelling's gone. Thyroid adrenal glands working. Heart's back in rhythm. Like I said, it still flutters, but I don't need heart meds. It's all chemically shut down. Seizures are gone. Only thing that was wrong with me was my muscles locked up. It was all chemically induced. By the third month, I told you I could drive my own car. Hold myself up and down streets, stores, malls, do my own grocery shopping. Losing weight like crazy. Went from a 24 in November of 2002 by April of 2003. I'm almost well. Dr. Eli was actually getting mad at me for not getting well faster. Told me to go out and buy 2-pound weights and put them on my legs. Do you know what that causes? Severe pain. Man's crazy. Everybody gets well at their own pace, and I had all that swelling. I had to learn to walk on numb feet. Water like a duck and fall. Water like a duck and fall. At home, I didn't care if I fell because I could pull myself over to a couch or a chair and pull up. But when I left, I had my canes and braces. You don't want to fall out in public. Who's going to help you out? So I made sure I was safe when I left. It was almost well in April 2003. Even the Vegas, I can still see that day. I was standing at the back door of that church, and there's a glass door, and I'm watching Tyler and my son Danny play, and Tyler's got this big long fruit roll up, and they walk up to me, Karen, it's so good to see you at church. Look how thin you've got. Well, I've went from a 24 to a 16 in front of everybody in months. Okay? And we see you out driving your car, pulling yourself up and down streets, stores, malls. You're going to beat this. I said, well, they talk about remission, but it can't happen fast enough. Oh, you're going to beat this on your own. Look how good you're doing. That's April. May 3rd, 2003. Brian Laney came over, and he knocked on the door. Now, there was a church baseball game. We're all at home working on our house. Okay? He said, I've got news to tell you. He said, that church baseball game today, a lot of people were running late. Phil was one of the late cars, and he blew through a stop sign into a semi, killing him and Tyler both, and Tyler was ejected. And everybody seen him, and they couldn't believe he didn't even try to stop. Okay? Come July, now that's May 3rd, 2003. I'm almost well in April. Come July of 2003, I finished getting well. Did anything have to do with anything? No. Come November of 2003, my sister Linda was married to that minister's son, too. She was out one day, and she seen him with Katie. Okay? So when he went to leave, she started following him. Okay? And one time he came, I'm sorry, I heard noises outside. She started following him, and she came up to me at church. I was following again. And this is November 2003, 6 months after a traffic accident I had nothing to do with. Okay? She came up to me and she's like, Karen, I was following him again. I got caught. I think they thought it was you. I'm sorry. Be careful. It's like, great. Thanks. And she runs off. Well, Strange made up that lie on Sunday. That was a Wednesday and he made it up on Sunday. Oh, you're faking through that. 4 or 5 years? I have MRI reports showing the swelling. I have blood work showing reports showing everything shut down. I have false diagnosis of level 2 brain tumors. I have a copy of the fentanyl patches. Now, did anything have to do with anything? No. It's documented medical malpractice. Documented medication use. And proven. I lived on only medication I took. I had a Ventolin inhaler for asthma. And estrase hormone replacement for having a hysterectomy for years. If there was something really wrong with me, could I have lived without medication? No. It's because it was all fraud. Do you claim fraud over your life? No. Because if I went into the BMV and where you check that, do you have epilepsy, seizures? I put no. Why? I was diagnosed with epilepsy. Was having seizures. But why was I having seizures? Because they induced them. Did I have epilepsy? No. They were defrauding me, ripping off my insurance, and making me sick. So, do I claim anything they said? No. That would make me stupid. Huh? That's why people said nobody would ever address what those doctors did before. Well, what would you say? What would you honestly say? You put them in jail for it? Insurance fraud? Medical malpractice? Negligence? Negligence is 1 to 8 years and $1.5 million fine. And this hits an oh my God. So what doctor, like they said, my one client lived out in North Canton, and the next duplex over, there was old ladies there, and they were talking about the case. They were like, are they trying to say Karen's will is listening to a doctor that almost killed her? And it's already deemed a medical malpractice by other doctors? No, it's just some guy saying he's a doctor. Like Alton Hospital, December 30th, 23, I'm in there with my client in the emergency room. Nurses are outside talking. My God, no one's to ever talk to these people. They had some guy impersonate a doctor from Alton Hospital selling people's information. The hospital gets sued. HIPAA violations. Your right to privacy. None of my doctors could have talked to Will or anybody else. It's 1 to 5 years and $250,000 fine. No one's ever talked to these people. And some guy impersonating a doctor from Alton Hospital selling people's information. Hospital gets sued. Oh, the state would go Harry-Carry. And nobody's gonna ever back those doctors from before. My God, they were lying so bad. They said she had brain tumors and there was nothing wrong with her. And it was a medication making her sick, and they were just busy. They were just ripping off her insurance. Nobody's going to ever back somebody just ripping them off and making them sick. And medication errors and people lying to rip somebody off. Nobody's going to ever back that. Cops walked by, all those doctors were lying before. He said, yes, is the medication making her sick? None of this is funny. People, because they keep selling the login, we listened to what was really wrong with her before. It's no doubt that it was medical malpractice. And the medicine was making her sick. I wouldn't have gotten well. Now, you think, Strange said, oh, you were faking to know all that. 5 years. Can't fake that kind of shit. Okay? Did that have anything to do with the Vegas? No. So why would they reach over and say, feel sorry for us 6 months later? Because they're trying to get power over people. Part of being a psychopath. They don't feel sympathy, empathy, remorse. They're the people that can hire people to kill people. They can kill people. Okay? And they don't feel sorry for you. So but they can feel happy, joy, excitement, anger. They don't feel sympathy and empathy. So was they ever sorrowful that kid died? No. They were angry. But they never did grieve. They can't grieve. There's a doctor on YouTube that talks of the difference between a narcissist, psychopath, and sociopath. And a psychopath, it's proven with brain scans that part of their brain don't work, doesn't light up. That's how they could hire killers and have me harmed, because Strange made up a lie on me that had nothing to do with them. He could have called me a stripper, prostitute. Did it have anything to do with them? No. Absolutely nothing. Her father killed their kid. Showing off. So why would they want sympathy and attention? Because he insulted me, like my neighbor Becky said, that's insanity. Just because somebody said something mean about you had nothing to do with them, why would they want attention? And why would they want to harm you? Exactly. Exactly. 6 months later has nothing to do with them. But like that psychiatrist online said, they imitate. They've learned to put a facade up around people to use it to get power over them. And it's all fake. Because think of this. At the funeral, when they told him they're ready to begin, he laid his body on the floor, screaming, ah! Men carried him out, screaming and wailing. It was horrible. And a minute later, he walks in and goes like this and sits down. If he was losing it that bad, they would have hospitalized him. He sat through the service, was fine. The reception line where you shake everybody's hand, fine. The burial, fine. So that was to get power and control over all those people. He didn't know how to grieve. So he put on a big act. He was angry, and then he got control over people. And where people felt sorry for him, he kept it up so he could keep more and more control. I know this one person. He lost his child when he was very young. They lived on a farm. There was a lake on the farm, and somebody wasn't watching the toddler. And they found it floating in the pond. He said, I find these people disgusting. Using their dead son's name to harm people. He said, I couldn't imagine using my son's name and his memory to harm anybody. And I find them disgusting. Now I want you to think. Start looking at them disgusting like that. They said some guy was paying for harassment. I don't know what they told him, but he found out I didn't have anything to do with that kid's death. And that family's just making up stuff to hurt people. They are making up stuff to hurt people. Oh, she was faking while we were still grieving 15 years ago. So we waited to try to kill her. Psychos? And it's documented medical malpractice and documented medication errors. Now, see, that's where even officers that watch me, there's no way those doctors did not know they weren't killing her. Everything's swelling up and everything's shutting down, and it took another doctor to tell them. There's no way on earth they didn't know they weren't killing her, and they didn't pour out that medication. Now, do I have to claim anything they said when it was all fraud? No. That would be like me going into the BMV and where it says, do you have epilepsy or seizures? Check yes. Well, you have to get a doctor's excuse. Go in there and say, Karen, we already told you it was fraud. They caused it with the medication. What's wrong with you? See what I mean? I look stupid. People have even said not one person would ever address those doctors before they even damaged her heart and didn't pull her off those meds. What are you going to say? You put them in jail? What would you say? Do I have to claim people defrauding my insurance? Ripping me off and almost killing me? And lying? Better that they better thank God I never sued them. Still put them in jail. Like they said, the brain swelling alone would have caused most of it. I've had even officers that worked my case. I went to another doctor, explained everything was wrong with her, and they said that she's very fortunate when all the swelling left that everything started working again. They could have made me. Do you remember in 2000 and before, there was Medicare fraud, Medicaid fraud, insurance fraud, doctors pulling a lot of us crap, and a lot of them went to jail? I still hear from other people it's still happening, but the government cracked down. Doctors were getting people hooked on pain meds, other meds, making them sick, having them come back in, ripping off their insurance. People died. And they were getting kickbacks from the drug companies. My personal thing is, if the government wouldn't let them get kickbacks from the drug companies, maybe stuff like this wouldn't happen. They had me on like 18 meds. Now you put $200 to $1,000 per medication. Explains a lot, don't it? But, I mean, it's just like when the terrorists hit the towers in 2001. Okay, that's like 2 years difference. Okay? 6 months later, the families get together to, do a prayer vigil. Some idiot walking up and saying, hey, did you know that lady in the apartment building was faking here and that? They tell them to get the hell away from them. They had nothing to do with that terrorist. I don't know what your beef is with that lady. Don't bring it over here and show some respect. See, that's what the Vegas should have said. I don't know what your problem is with Karen, but you stay out of our family's tragedy. Don't you bring us into it. See, that takes integrity. Them wanting sympathy over something that had nothing to do with them. They were using their family's tragedy just to hurt people. Like they said, they made up a reason to kill her. Now, I want you to also think, what did these people really accomplish? What did they honestly accomplish? My family, when we lived on Lenox and Maslin, we had our kids over all the time, our grandkids. Okay? We were always going over their house, they were coming over ours. Holidays, birthdays, spent a lot, if not part of our family together, a lot. And I had a big family. 3 sons, 10 grandchildren, and then daughter-in-laws or the girlfriends of my sons. I had 12 to 17 people around holiday tables, cookouts. Okay? We go out to eat with my kids, go visit them, have everybody over. I loved my life. Absolutely loved it. Okay? I just didn't know Dave wanted a wild drug life. He should have been honest. And just left me and the kids out of it. Okay? Now we got this close-knit family. Dave's pretending to be a good husband, good dad, and good grandfather. Not staying at work, going out with young, wild women. And while we're busy having everybody enjoying each other and their families coming over, okay, we get our new retirement home. He's already got a girlfriend. Already been trying to have me killed, and I'm not thinking it's him, and really didn't. About her. We were married 33 years. And instead of just divorcing me, try to have me killed, and then hire drug dealers to run this big scam. Photoshopping of washing of her in other rooms done on purpose, May 26, 22. At noon, the police taped him. To putting clips together, made it a porn March 1st to 3rd of 21. Minute they photoshopped all the lies in 18, minute how they framed me. Where you had me waking up with bruises, throwing up, heart racing, infected, almost passing out. Coming in from working outside, wash my hands, make something to eat and drink, go and use the bathroom, come out, wash my hands, and then come out and take a drink in the room, go dizzy and black, the same thing. Or wake up with marks that look like injection marks, and hear I'm being drugged, being raped in my own home, and drugged up and told to stay stopped by sexual predators. What kind of sick, satanic people do that to a human being? It's documented it was a drug cartel in my home. He hired drug dealers to run a scam. It was drug dealers in my home. The fake sodium pentothal reports, the roofie confessions, never seeing or talking to anybody for the FBI. Just waking up like that, and I'm thinking the dirty well water looked like poop water. I almost was afraid I had E. coli in it. That's why I was getting so sick. Just washing in it, washing my hands in it. Because I couldn't figure out why. I was fine before I moved in that house, and since I moved in there, I'm throwing up, dizzy, heart racing, got bruises all over me. Severely infected. I thought it was infected my private area, just washing in it. And here I'm being drug beat and raped in my own home. There was nothing to laugh at about this. Taking a naked picture of somebody without their permission is voyeurism. It's speaking Tom tapes. List you a sex offender. You tried to extort money out of it, photoshopped or not. It's sextortion. Andrew Darabic up there had 7 victims. Got arrested right away. These people are drug beating, raping people in their home and drugging them out and telling them to say stuff and photoshopping things. Still sextortion. It's a federal crime. And then you got human trafficking, rape, kidnapping. They've admitted to selling kiddie porn in my grandkids' school and potty. And everything else they did to me. Am I in trouble for drug dealers running a scam on me? No. What the hell are you doing making fun of me? Told you the first month of the case, an old man walked up to me at Wood Forest on Walmart 62 for every idle word you telling us will turn on you. I'm like, who are you? You tried to leave Dave unless your child molester. I'm like, who are you? You know that bruise on your leg? And I'm like, yeah. I'd been throwing out that morning, had another big bruise. He said, I used sodium pentothal on you. I was outlawed in the country in 2011. You lie under and it's lethal. Spy flick movie stuff. He had date rape, drugged me, and in my sleep stabbed me with a needle. And thought he could lie in front of the cops. Said, you know what you told me? No, I never talked to him. He stabbed me in my sleep. You were wearing this one nightgown, you bent over improperly once and they accidentally seen your butt. You had a life of pain. Life of pain. That would be a moment of embarrassment. You try to leave Dave, I'll list your child molester for that. Now, what did he just confess? He worked for Dave. He was drugging me up and telling me to say lies. And their whole plan was the child molester lie. He didn't want to pay alimony. He thought the police were stupid. Went home to a legally bugged house and Dave verified I didn't own that nightgown years ago. And I was wearing a grandma nightgown down to my knees. Underwear, a house coat, and they let me from the back of my knees. I have varicose veins. What's wrong with this? They laughed in my face. They photoshopped all their lies. In 18, they made everything up on me in 18. In front of the cops. And where they were still drugging me up in front of the cops, laughing in my face, they could get away with anything. Huh? How they frame me before. Photoshopped feminine wipes above the toilet in the other room, raised some guy named Chris out of the room. Never had a Chris in my home. They said he was actually one of the main people harming me. You want to talk about scary movie shit? Think of a scary movie. A serial rapist spraying on somebody in their home. And because I never seen or talked to anybody. Even the doctor. Did you fall? No, I don't know where these marks came from. There's bruises all over me. My muscles are killing me. Maybe you're coming to me, Mick. You're just some muscle relaxers and I was. My head's killing me. Been throwing up, dizzy, almost passed out, even from the neighbor. It's just for a headache and for throwing up. My personal area is so swollen I can't hardly breathe. Is it the dirty well water? I'm washing it. We'll get you some pills and creams. Here I'm being drug beat raped in my own home. And when I told my doctor I found out that's what they were actually doing. The nurse scowled up her face and went, your ex-husband's a vile, sick animal. Having those people harm you like that. And when you look at these people for the animals they are, How would you like to never see anybody, never have anybody in your home, and drug dealers preying on you like that? Are you in trouble? No. There's nothing to make fun of. So where ignorant, low-educated people call me names, why are you calling me names? Because some drug dealers told you to? They're running scams on people? How would you like to find out they're in your home? Anybody have the flu in the last 5 years? Anybody have a bruise they couldn't explain? How would you like to find out they've been taping your family? Your children, your grandchildren, you going to the bathroom, you showering. How would you like to find out they had sold you on porn sites? And your family, your children and grandchildren. How would you like to find out where you thought you had the flu? You didn't know where you banged your arm or leg. And you had a personal infection and thought it was some kind of weird virus. See, that's what the doctor was probably thinking. It was probably some weird virus. And here's some serial rapist sexually abusing you, drugging you up until you say stop. Photoshopping shower scenes in the other room in a sextortion act. By drug dealers running a scam on you. Where's that funny? They should have been arrested the first day. It was drug dealers that walked in that FBI office. They've hired the drug cartel. Where they laughed that they made up Pete. There has to be a Pete that is a drug dealer because they still talk about him. Because they laughed that they made up Pete. They made up everything on me. To get away with it March 20th, 24. They were laughing about that in 18, 19. So, it's drug dealers. Walked in that agent's office, one pretending to be a retired judge in the drug cartel. Like the officers assigned to me. The case first started, her ex-husband was keeping her so drugged up, they were drug beating, raping her, and she didn't realize what that was happening to her. They said it was some judge up there messed up in the drug cartel. They wanted his connections. Found out it's just some guy saying he's a judge. Just like it was some guy saying he was a doctor. Just like the police say it's just some lady trying to make money off this lying that she's some kind of attorney. It's a drug cartel. Just lying to people. Running a scam. Like they said, it's a drug scam to cover up attempted murder. And like people were saying in calls, we got the link to the login to the case. That one drug dealer bet everything that nobody would do the right thing and look at everything and what happened to her. He bet nobody would do the right thing. Banked everything on it. There's control over drugs coming in this area. Because the only way to beat him is to do the right thing. He doesn't think anybody has integrity in this area, is honest and good. He bet everything on it. Lighthouse Tabernacle and the drug cartel made fun of FBI agent John June 7th, 23, screamed it out in Walmart 62, how they made a big fool out of him and cackled. They dared the FBI to fix it July 9th, 23, in Trinity Gospel. They were talking about the drug dealers making fun of the FBI in September 23 in Napa. Okay? They called FBI agent John. They call him either John or Will. Called him stupid. They're poking at that agent, daring him. June 23, 24, outside Walmart. My car's parked from that case. They all think Karen's real stupid. That's what's going on. They all think he's stupid. They already made a public fool out of him, dared him. Now they're calling him stupid. They keep poking at that agent, daring him to do something. They don't think they're stoppable. See, that's what they told Ed at the one apartment. All the tapes to the floor were them and not her. And it's just a bunch of men doing crimes down here to see if someone will actually stop them. The guy at the Hunger Task Force that day said the same thing. Just a bunch of criminals that don't think they're stoppable. But like those ladies said in Coles, we found the tape where they were exposing corrupt law enforcement in this area publicly, and they set that agent up. Wait till he finds out the whole thing that they were doing. They were setting him up. That's what all this was about. All those like they said in Akron last week, a bunch of drug dealers set up that agent. This whole thing, because they kept telling you they framed me. They photoshopped all their lies, made everything up on me, drugged me and told me to say it. Nobody actually talked to me. They only used drugs on me. The two drug lords were using this as a big pawn to fight over this area. She doesn't know what's going on. She don't know what they're really doing. Two of the drug lord guys walked up and said they're exposing corrupt law enforcement in this area publicly. And they set him up. They set him up to be arrested. That's exactly what they said. They were out to take that federal agent down. Like they said, wait till that agent realizes. The whole thing was to take him down. I'm gonna upload this.